Judging by the 2020-2021 NBA season with the massive upswings and downswings, ending with the Milwaukee Bucks taking the championship, the next season is going to be intense. Today, we're going to be talking about new NBA trade rumors that are set to change everything, so stay tuned, you don't want to miss this. Before we get into this video though, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel and turn notifications on so you don't miss out on any of the new videos that we post. Number 1, what is going to happen to Ben Simmons? The Philadelphia 76ers point guard Ben Simmons is one of the team's star players, but many other teams are eyeing him for the next NBA season. Multiple sources have stated that teams like the Miami Heat, Toronto Raptors, and Washington Wizards are all looking into trying to get the player. One of the teams trying the most to pick up Simmons appears to be the Heat, but there are some questions raised in this hypothetical. Simmons and Jimmy Butler of the Miami Heat had some history, and it doesn't seem likely that they would work together. There was a supposed iciness between the two players when they played together in Philadelphia, especially with Butler wanting to control the offense and dominate the ball. The Philadelphia 76ers were in a position where they had to choose between Simmons and Butler in the summer of 2019, and they chose to keep Simmons. Very unlikely that Miami would invite the same problems that the 76ers sought to avoid 2 years earlier. There's even a chance that Miami and Philadelphia could be looking into a potential swap between the two players. Number 2, where will Buddy Hield end up? The Lakers' general manager Rob Pelinka thinks that it's important for the core of a team to stay together, but it becomes clear that after watching the Lakers' massive loss in the first round of the 2021 NBA playoffs that there needs to be better support behind the players holding the team. LeBron James and Anthony Davis. The potential trade looks like the Lakers would be getting Buddy Hield and Delon Wright. Hield seems like a really strong option for the Lakers as he's a very underrated perimeter option, someone who's capable of scoring 20 points on a semi-consistent basis. Last season, he hit 39% of his three-point shot attempts. Number 3, the Sacramento Kings. The best trades for the Sacramento Kings before starting next season would be them getting Kyle Kuzma, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Alfonso McKinney, and the 22nd overall pick in the draft. Sacramento can't look at Hield and Bagley III for next season. Instead, they want to acquire Kyle Kuzma to team up with their star-studded backcourt of players like De'Aaron Fox and Tyrese Halliburton, a combination that would be sure to help the team get some wins next season. The Kings could also potentially package the pick that they acquire in this trade with their original first-round selection, 9th overall in the draft, to move up in the draft lottery and get some better picks. Number 4, Kyle Lowry. Right now, it looks as if Miami Heat has their eyes set on Kyle Lowry joining their team. The player is one of the stars from the last 5 years, and he'd make a great backcourt partner for Butler, as well as a strong third member to the Heat core with Bam Adebayo. These players all have great potential, unlike the trend of the last few years where the star players are traded from team to team to get championships. If they mesh well enough, they could potentially be like the Bucks and have enough synergy, as well as having a player like Giannis and Kyle Lowry to lead their team. They could make the championship again. Number 5, next we're looking at Tyler Herro. When it was the 2020 NBA bubble, rookie Tyler Herro was getting a lot of attention for his plays, with many noting him as having great potential as a game creator. Overall, in the NBA 2020-2021 season in Miami though, he failed to show and was part of the 4-game loss to the Bucks in round 1. I'm sure people looking in hindsight can somewhat understand after seeing what a force the Bucks were last season, but there are still questions about where Tyler Herro will end up in the future. Some teams eyeing him for a trade right now as the San Antonio Spurs, the Oklahoma City Thunder, and the New Orleans Pelicans. All these teams are looking to reclaim some of the glory they've had in the previous seasons where they reached the playoffs and championships, and Tyler Herro might be one of those options. He's only 21 years old right now, so he has a lot of room to grow and could be a great addition to a team or even could become a team leader in the future. Number 6, next up, the Raptors look as if they're going to trade Pascal Siakam to the Chicago Bulls. This would be one of the biggest trades of the season. The Chicago Bulls general manager Mark Eversley made it clear ahead of the March deadline that they're in the mindset that they need to win now. They think that the best way to do this is to acquire the all-star center Nikola Vucevic from the Orlando Magic, and with him and other Bulls star Zach LaVine, they need just one more player to return to the prestige that the Bulls saw in the 90s. One of these best picks is Toronto Raptors player Pascal Siakam, and the Bulls were also looking to acquire player Aaron Baines. While this is happening on the Bulls side, it appears that the Raptors are looking to get Patrick Williams, Kobe White, and Thaddeus Young. These new players would be a legitimate championship caliber core group that could compete with some of the other best teams in the league. Number 7, next up, we're going to be looking at the Knicks. Right now for the 2021 season, the Knicks hold the number 19 and the number 21 picks for the draft that's happening on July 29th. The team is very aggressively trying to move up in the lottery in the hopes of landing the Oregon guard Chris Durante. But unfortunately, many other teams are also looking to snatch up the 24-year-old 6'6" player. He was one of the best collegiate players in the last year and even received the 2021 Jerry West Award as the nation's top collegiate shooting guard. And as a result of this, a lot of teams have their eyes on him. Some predict him going to the team to look out for in the next few years, the Memphis Grizzlies, while many others expect the player to join the Warriors so that they can recapture the flame that they saw a few years ago. Number 8, next we're going to be looking at the free agent Duncan Robinson. Duncan Robinson has been playing for the Heat since 2018, where he set franchise records for three-point shots. He even represented the Heat in the NBA All-Star Weekend three-point contest. Duncan Robinson will enter restricted free agency once the Heat submits his $4.7 million qualifying offer. Once this is the case, he'll be a hot player that a lot of other teams will want to draft. This free agency means that Miami could match any offer that Robinson signs, but it's a major question of if they will do so after they already spending $34.7 million on Bam Adebayo and $37.6 million on Jimmy Butler. And they may also try their hardest to keep Tyler Herro on their roster. Robinson has stated that he would love to stay in Miami, but nothing is set in stone. This is very much the case, and one of the teams looking to nab the player that could benefit the most from his presence is the New York Knicks. Number 9 next, where is Bradley Beal going to end up? Golden State has been among the teams most linked to the player since rumors showed that the All-Star guard had been considering a trade request. Even all the way back to the NBA trade deadline back in March, the Warriors have been trying to snatch up the player. He'd be a great asset for the team where he would work with other strong players such as Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green, players who are just hitting the peak of their career. The Warriors also seem as if they're trying to get Davis Bertans on their ranks as well. The Washington Wizards may see this deal as favorable as well. It would give them the 7th pick, 14th pick, and would even give them the highly desirable future first-round pick. The players that they're looking at for next season are Andrew Wiggins, James Wiseman, and Jordan Poole. These players could help put the Wizards in a prime spot to be a contender for next season. Number 10, and finally the Washington Wizards could also be trading Russell Westbrook to the Los Angeles Clippers. The Washington Wizards have already been in trade talks with the Los Angeles Lakers about Westbrook, and while looking at the Los Angeles Clippers, they're staying in the Southern California area. Eyeing this sort of trade options ups the Wizards to potentially getting players like Terrence Mann, Ivica Zubac, Marcus Morris, Patrick Beverley, and could even see getting the 25th pick and a future first-round draft pick, which could be a game changer for future seasons. It makes sense for the Clippers to be open to this pick. It would be a great upgrade for a point guard, and they're also eyeing potentially nabbing Kawhi Leonard after he recovers from his torn ACL. These two players could prove to be invaluable picks for the Clippers' future. That wraps up this video. Thank you so much for watching.